Hello everyone, with Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, September 29, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your coworkers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know whether that's been like you recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. We can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 7:31 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:31 p.m. Jamaica time, so almost an hour ago. We still have Tropical Storm Joyce right there across the northern portion of the main development region. We now have Tropical Storm Isaac, downgraded from a hurricane yesterday. We now have newly formed Tropical Depression number 12 right there to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. And we can also see these two areas that have a medium chance of development right here across the Western Caribbean and the other one right here to the west of Africa. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can definitely make out these entities. Well, Isaac definitely off screen to the north up here. We have Joyce right here spinning away. Most of the thunderstorms being sheared off towards the northeast, as we can see there. We can see newly developed Tropical Depression 12. Lots of moisture, clouds, and thunderstorms associated with it. And we can also see the other tropical wave closer to Africa that has a medium chance of development as it pushes westward, as well as the area of clouds associated with what's expected to develop across the Western Caribbean and head into the Gulf of Mexico. We can also even see an upper level trough of low pressure. Look at the spinning of the clouds right here. Definitely have an upper level low somewhere in there, right there across the Central Caribbean for sure. And all of this is pushing westward as we speak. If we take a look at the latest track and information regarding Tropical Storm Isaac, we see that as of their latest update, Isaac is packing maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour. And when we look at the wind scale, the hurricane wind scale, we see that is definitely a high-end tropical storm. We know tropical storms have maximum sustained winds of anywhere from 39 to 73 miles per hour. And considering that Isaac has 70 mile per hour wind, definitely a high-end tropical storm is definitely closer to a category 1 hurricane as we speak, rather than closer to a tropical depression. And we can see all of the tropical storm force winds as represented by the gold color stretching far out from the center right here. And it is moving towards the northeast at 12 miles per hour according to what the Hurricane Center stating. And then it's expected to push northward, still remaining tropical storm strength as we head into 6 p.m. on Thursday. Definitely not going to be affecting land anytime soon at all. If we take a look at the latest regarding Tropical Storm Joyce, we see that it is now packing maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. So definitely on the low end of the scale in terms of tropical storm intensity. Definitely closer to a tropical depression as we speak. She is moving towards the northwest at 6 miles per hour. And clearly she's expected to become a tropical depression very soon. As a matter of fact, by tonight, she'll be downgraded back to a tropical depression. We saw what was happening with her. Definitely being sheared, all of the high cold clouds being blown off towards the northeast. You can definitely see the naked swirl associated with her across the open waters of the Atlantic right there. And we see that definitely gonna be remaining a tropical depression all the way up to Wednesday for sure. Then it should probably dissipate back to an area of low pressure. As it relates to newly formed tropical depression number 12, this system is going to be a monster actually. Right now it's packing maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. So definitely right there, about tropical depression strength for sure. Trying to get its act together as we speak. Going to be, well, it's going to become a tropical storm by tomorrow for sure, if not tonight. The next name on the list, as we know, is Kirk. So it will definitely acquire that name. Definitely going to be a huge system in general. And if we look back, we see that it's expected to become a hurricane as early as 2 a.m. on Wednesday. Right now it's moving towards the west at 9 miles per hour. And then by Friday it's expected to become an M. We know the M represents major hurricane status. And major hurricanes are anywhere between category 3 to 5 strength. So anywhere packing 111 mile per hour winds all the way up to 157 or more mile per hour winds. We'll see how that goes. Either way, according to the Hurricane Center, this system is expected to remain out to sea and push north westward. So definitely missing the Caribbean. We can see the Eastern Caribbean right here. Definitely missing us for sure, and we're indeed grateful for that. We don't need any high pressure ridges strong enough to be sending all of these entities to the west into our area at all. But regarding the other systems, we're going to be reading what the Hurricane Center has stated about them recently. Let's zoom in so that we have the very latest information. First, let's start with this one closer to Africa. A low latitude tropical wave located a few hundred miles off the west coast of Africa is producing limited shower and thunderstorm activity. Upper level winds are forecast to become more conducive for gradual development of the system during the next few days, and a tropical depression could form during the middle or latter part of this week while moving slowly westward or west-northwestward over the eastern tropical Atlantic. And we see that they've given it a 10% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours, that's the next 2 days, and a 50% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And as we can see, it's definitely tilted in a westward fashion from right to left. So we definitely have to watch it just in case it continues due west into the Caribbean. As it relates to what's happening regarding the other system, the Hurricane Center states here that a broad area of low pressure located over the western Caribbean Sea is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear to be conducive for gradual development, and a tropical depression could form around the middle part of this week while the disturbance moves slowly westward, west-northwestward. This system is then expected to move northwestward into the Gulf of Mexico during the latter portion of this week. Interests in the northwestern Caribbean Sea and along the US Gulf Coast should monitor the progress of this system. And we see that they've given it a 0% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and a 50% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And if we actually take a look at what the Hurricane Center, or well, not the Hurricane Center, what the supercomputer models are showing regarding where this system is going, we're not even going to be looking at the other system in the Eastern Atlantic. That's so far out in time. We'll wait until it's closer to the Caribbean to see exactly what it does. Either way, we're going to be looking at the Euro model first, then the GFS model as usual. We're just going to be tracking the moisture across the Western Caribbean. And we're going to be looking at the timestamp right here. We're just going out to the next 168 hours. That's the next 7 days. And we're going to be focusing here. We're going to be looking for all of these that we see on the key on the right. The greens all the way up into the yellows that represent anywhere from 1 all the way up to 6 inches of rainfall. So we're going to be running the Euro first, then the GFS as usual to see what is in store. So first things first, we see that as early as 12Z on Monday, which is actually 7 a.m., we have some greens in and around Jamaica that we know represent rainfall. So we're definitely in for some more rainfall. We've been getting the rainfall today. Not everywhere, just some areas. I definitely got a nice little downpour about an hour ago for sure in my area of St. Thomas. And as we continue to go out in time, we still see the moisture even as we head into Tuesday in and around the island. This is 21Z on Tuesday, which is actually 4 p.m. We see the moisture in and around the island for sure. As we continue to go out in time, Wednesday, we see moisture especially to the west of the island, more whites on top of the island than anything else, which indicate little to no rainfall. And as we continue, we see most of the moisture to the west, some of the moisture meandering on land in Jamaica, but for the most part, most of it is definitely off to the west, heading into the Gulf of Mexico for sure. And then by the end of the 168 hours, we start to see this system right here, which definitely is Kirk for sure. And we also see the airflow pressure and the moisture associated with what's to come of the system after Kirk. And we remember the names on the list that are next. After Kirk, we have Leslie. After Leslie, we have Milton. We'll see exactly what unfolds with those. Either way, let us take a look at what the GFS is forecasting. So this is what is showing on the euro by the end of the 7 days, by the end of 12Z on Sunday, October 6th, which is actually 7 a.m. on Sunday, October 6th. Saying that Kirk should be right here to the east of Bermuda, far east of Bermuda, and whatever comes of the Western Caribbean system should be across the Gulf of Mexico. More moisture than anything else. We don't see tightening isobars or anything, which indicate that it could be weaker here on this run of the euro. We see some tight isobars here, which indicate that it's definitely a strong system, just like what the hurricane center states, maybe a major hurricane for sure. Regarding what the GFS is showing for tomorrow, we definitely see the moisture in and around the island. This is 0Z on Tuesday, which is actually 7 p.m. on Monday. And we see the moisture in and around the island for sure, especially on the north coast. As we continue to go out in time, look at that huge bout of moisture, the dark greens, the yellows, oranges, reds to the southwest of Jamaica. For reference, Jamaica is right here. Look at the moisture, look at the airflow pressure, something trying to get its act together by that time. 0Z on Wednesday is actually 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And as we continue, we see it definitely lifting northwestward and pushing towards the Yucatan, if not western Cuba for sure. And then look at that, we see a strong system in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, right in the same spot that we had Helene a week ago. And as we wrap up the end of the 168 hours, we see what takes place on this latest run of the GFS, the 18Z run that just came out an hour ago. Clearly, we have some differences. The euro has the low pressure center smack dab in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. The GFS, by the end of the 168 hours, has the airflow pressure right there across portions of Florida. We'll see exactly what unfolds. We even see another isobar right here to the north of the Yucatan. We'll see how that goes. We know these models are forever changing. Every run that comes out every 6 hours, we have to take these forecast maps with a grain of salt each and every time, because they are not set in stone at all. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, this map from the euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Sunday, October 6th. And we definitely see all of the greens, yellows, oranges that represent all the way up to 0.2, all the way up to what? 0.75 for an inch of rainfall. And the reds represent all the way up to 1 inch or more of rainfall. The purples representing the 3 inches or more, the pinks 4 inches. You definitely see a lot of that, especially to the west of Jamaica on this latest Euro model. Lots of the moisture into portions of the Cayman Island, the northeastern Yucatan Peninsula, western Cuba, heading into the Gulf of Mexico. So even if this system doesn't develop, a lot of moisture definitely associated with it. We see the GFS showing something similar, with most of the moisture pushing northwestward into the Cayman Islands and Cuba, as well as even portions of Florida getting in on the mix. So we definitely have to stay updated. with what occurs, some of this rainfall could definitely spill into portions of Jamaica, bringing some isolated shores. And it's not going to be something like what we had with Helene at all. With Helene, we had a lot of wind shear pushing the system off to the east into Jamaica. With this system, we don't have much wind shear in our neck of the woods. So it's definitely going to be, having most of the moisture near the center for sure. Not much activity spilling into Jamaica at all. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a trough of low pressure right there, stretching into portions of Florida from the east coast of the US. We also see the tail end of a cold front right there to the north of Bermuda. We can also see the tropical wave right there to the west of Jamaica that we've been getting in on some rainfall with throughout the day today, and more definitely expected tomorrow. Well, we have the information regarding Hurricane Isaac, but Isaac is way up there to the north. We can see Tropical Storm Joyce right there, and newly upgraded Tropical Depression 12 right there, as well as the tropical wave behind it that has a medium chance of development. And if we take a look back at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. The trough of low pressure and the clouds that is bringing to portions of Florida, showers and thunderstorms as well. Leftover clouds still spinning with what's left of Helene across portion of the US. Maybe still some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers. Clouds associated with that tropical wave that has a medium chance of development across the Western Caribbean. Clouds associated with Joyce spinning away and being sheared off to the northeast. Clouds associated with the tropical depression, as well as the clouds associated with the tropical wave to the east of that one. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean a little later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, September 29, 2024. It was stated that parts of southern and eastern parishes in Jamaica would have received some rainfall last night into Sunday morning, also affecting sections of some northern and western parishes during Sunday afternoon. And just for reference, we know southern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on the bottom side of the island, like Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. While eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Andrew, Kingston, and St. Thomas. Those were the spots that would have received the morning rainfall. And then the afternoon rainfall was focused for northern and western Jamaica. We know northern Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes on top like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And what ended up happening? Let's highlight what took place in the morning. First of all, the Cuban Doppler radar images were posted at around 4:50 a.m. on Sunday, and they highlighted the fact that we were receiving some rainfall coming into portions of not only eastern Jamaica as represented by the greens, but even some southern parishes right there, sections of Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth. By the way, keep in mind that this post was made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica. And keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page, but they're also made on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we definitely had confirmation from the Cuban Doppler radar that we got some morning rainfall, and even as the morning progressed at around 7:06 a.m., the visible satellite images were showing us that we were receiving some more rainfall across the southern and eastern side of the island. I definitely woke up to some rainfall at that time, which explains the post. In my area of St. Thomas, we had some morning rainfall again, and we also had some morning rainfall across portions of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, and even portions of St. Catherine too. Then we saw that by afternoon, most of these clouds were definitely being pushed from east-southeast or southeast to northwest, and then we had that daytime heating causing the clouds to start to fire up, especially across sections of some northern and western parishes, definitely across sections of St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, section of St. James, section of Hanover, section of Westmoreland, sections of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and even portion of Clarendon was getting in on some of the rainfall still coming off of the sea for sure at that time period. So that indeed confirms the rainfall for the morning as well as for the afternoon. And even at around 6:40 p.m., about an hour ago as well, the infrared satellite image was posted and we're still getting some rainfall. I definitely got some nice rain an hour ago, if I didn't already say that. Some thunderstorms as well. We can definitely see a lot of moisture pushing in from Haiti into portion of Jamaica. We can see the high cold cloud dust being blown off towards the southwest by that upper level wind shear. We're definitely getting in on some moisture as we speak, still associated with that tropical wave. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely make out what took place. That low level flow from the southeast, that upper level flow from the northeast, definitely mismatching, bring overcast skies to sections of the island for sure, if not rainfall. So that indeed confirms what was predicted in yesterday's video. Unfortunately, the weather nerd satellite images still not working, so we can't make out the close-ups, high cold cloud tops, or the sparkling white dust that we know represent some thunderstorms. Hopefully it gets fixed soon. We still have this image from September 27, September 29 now. Hopefully it's resolved. If we take a look at the other imagery though, definitely seeing what we just saw right here on the infrared with all of the thunderstorms blowing from Haiti as we speak. Some of these clouds across the island right now, and we should be receiving more rainfall tonight into early Monday morning as well in some spots. And if we actually confirm the rainfall from some of our followers, well, the morning rainfall first, then the afternoon rainfall. So 12 hours ago, we had Rose of Aranga stating raining with thunderstorm in Southfield, St. Elizabeth. We also have another comment right here coming in from Gunnar Princess stating what a rain. 10 hours ago as well. It's definitely in the morning. And some more comments for the morning as well. We had Nadine Smith on our Facebook page stating it's raining in southeast Clarendon. Latoya Anderson, north central Clarendon, getting some rain. Karen Brooks, thank God I'm in St. James. Claudine Brown, lots of rain in southeast Clarendon as well. And even on our Instagram page, we had the comments coming in. Trisis _ vegan _ weight loss journey stating rain there Mapen and heavy too. Kim Sue stating rain in Mandeville. We also had the _ Lil _ Miss _ 03 stating it just started fall in St. Catherine. Gaza Will _ 808 stating rain in Sandy Bay, Clarendon, heavy. Even Portmore Bell _ Nas stating Greater Portmore got a quick one not too long ago. Thunder woke me up. Cherise.Brown 5 stating rain from morning in Clarendon. And it's time to confirm the afternoon rainfall now. Look at these timestamps. 4 hours ago. So 4 hours ago from this time, about what? If I'm not mistaken, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 o'clock, 2:30. If I'm not mistaken. To confirm the rainfall for the afternoon where across northern and western Jamaica. So we know Montego Bay is in the northern parish of St. James, so it's raining in Montego Bay from Johnoy. We also had the K Water stating overcast and thunder showers in the hills of St. James. Even right here on the Instagram page, we had a Legister._ stating got heavy rain in Hanover today, and that just about confirms it as well. And even if we take a look at See Jamaica's YouTube channel, by the way, if you don't know by now, we have a partnership with this channel where we show live streams of the corporate area, Halfway Tree, Crossroads, Barbican, the Panoramic View, Kingston Harbor, Flatbridge. So subscribe today because they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So we can see that at around 8:39 a.m. on the Crossroads cam, we were definitely getting in on some rainfall. We can definitely see the rainfall coming in from right to left. Some persons with their windshield wipers on. We can definitely see it right there. We can also see some persons with their umbrellas out for sure. So we definitely had some morning rainfall across parts of Kingston for sure this morning. Just to confirm the morning rainfall in the southern portion of the island. And even the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website confirms the rainfall that we've been receiving throughout the day today across the island. And we definitely see that flow, that moist southeasterly flow today associated with that tropical wave. It wasn't as moist as what we had when Helene's outer bands were here, but this map does indeed paint a picture of where we had the rainfall. Definitely across section of St. Thomas, Portland, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, section of Hanover, and even section of St. James and Trelawney, as well as St. Anne and St. Mary for sure. If we take a look at the latest infrared satellite image, as stated, still glitching out from September 27 here on Weather Nerd's website. But if we reload these images and take a look at the very latest here. Alright, so this one just came out at 30 minutes past the hour. Here we can see 0:30 UTC. So this one just came out, what, 14 minutes ago. And we can definitely see the latest infrared satellite image of Jamaica, showing some clouds, some showers and thunderstorms, especially to the east of the island. Some of this will definitely be affecting us tonight into Monday morning, if not overcast skies, some isolated showers, maybe some isolated thunderstorms for sure. We'll see how it goes tomorrow morning. You can also see portion of the Cayman Islands getting in on some strong thunderstorms as we speak as well. And if we take a look at the very latest Cuban Doppler radar image, unfortunately we don't have the very latest to show because it's still showing 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the latest, which is actually 4 p.m. Jamaica time. And we can actually make out some rainfall that was taking place at that time across northwestern Jamaica, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney. We can also make out some isolated shores coming into portions of St. Catherine, Clarendon, maybe even southern Manchester as well. And we can see a bout of rainfall is represented by the greens, and the yellows represent some moderate heavy rainfall passing to the east of Jamaica as well, pushing to the northwest. Unfortunately, the Jamaican radar is down. The Cuban Doppler radar keeps glitching out. Lots of glitches happening recently. Wonder if it has anything to do with the other moon that they said is on its way, or it should be here by now, if that story is actually true. If we take a look at the latest Guantanamo Bay Naval Base Station radar, we can definitely make out some rainfall across portions of southeastern Cuba, some rainfall across section of Haiti. Lots of rainfall between Haiti and Jamaica. Some of this rainfall also on land for sure, confirming what we just saw on the infrared satellite image. If we take a look at the latest Cayman radar, we can definitely make out all of this rainfall that we just saw on the satellite image, some strong thunderstorms. Some of this rainfall could trigger some isolated flash flooding in some spots for sure. Look at that heavy band coming into portions of Grand Cayman as we speak from the southeast. You can also make out some rainfall right there to the west of Jamaica right there. If we take a look at the very latest halfway tree cam as of 7:45 p.m, the live cam shows people as well as people in vehicles going about their business. Definitely gonna be a dry night for the most part here, but it could change. We're still being plagued with some clouds. There might be lightning out in the distance. Definitely raining somewhere. I just got some rainfall and some lightning and thunder. Could definitely be headed your way as we speak. So we definitely have to be on the alert just in case. Hopefully you have your rain gear with you. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can tell 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Monday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Could definitely be lower than this. We know these temperature forecast maps are not 100% accurate, definitely not set in stone at all, so we have to take them with a grain of salt. But regarding tomorrow, this map from the GFS is forecasting the temperature across Jamaica, well, across the Atlantic in general, for 18Z on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday. And we do see Jamaica right here embedded in some grays and some slight yellow colors that we know represent some average to slightly above average temperatures. And that's exactly what we want, more average temperatures than above average. We know the average temperatures for the month of September are close to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. When calculated, 90 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 32.2 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 33 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Monday. So in order to beat the heat, you know the drill. Stay away from all of the alcohol, the caffeine. They can make you way dehydrated. Dress down, don't bother with those long sleeves or anything like that. Dress down for sure. Wear the short sleeves. We know the heat is unbearable in Jamaica for sure. And always stay hydrated by drinking lots of water. Definitely drink the water instead of all of the sugary drinks for sure. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Monday, we can definitely see that majority of the western hemisphere is in the clear, as most of the dust associated with the Sahara Desert should be across the northern portion of the North Atlantic as well as the northern portion of the main development region right there. You can also see the spinning, showing that Joyce should be ingesting a lot more of the Saharan dust. We can also see the outline to show that even that system, that newly formed tropical depression that's going to become Kirk shortly, ingesting some of the dry air, but it's definitely not going to be prohibiting it from becoming a hurricane or a major hurricane at all, considering the lack of wind shear in the environment that is headed towards. Definitely going to be strengthening for sure. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can definitely see that we still have those lighter shades of browns to darker shades, well, lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues. That we know represents anywhere from 0.5 of a meter all the way up to 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights. And that's because the winds are going to be averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 knots at most. And we see the general direction across the Caribbean from the east curving northward, more so from an east-southeasterly or southeasterly to northwesterly kind of fashion into the western Caribbean across Jamaica. And if we take a closer look across Jamaica for sure, we can definitely make out that southeasterly flow. So we might just get in on more of what we had yesterday, more of that rainfall coming in from off of the sea associated with the tropical wave in that lower level of the atmosphere range. It's a section of St. Thomas, section of Portland, section of Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, maybe section of Westmoreland getting in on some morning rainfall for sure. Then by afternoon, where all of the air is going to be piling up again across sections of some northern and western parishes for sure. So look out for that daytime heating rainfall where we have those low level clouds developing. When we have the diurnal convection, we have those low level clouds becoming mid level rain clouds, if not upper level cumulonimbus clouds across sections of Westmoreland, sections of Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, even sections of St. Mary and even western Portland might get in on some of the mix for sure. So if you live on the north coast, definitely look out for that afternoon rainfall. If you live on the south coast, maybe some morning rainfall for sure. Not seeing much on the forecast maps for the morning, but it could definitely be possible with the abundance of moisture in the atmosphere. But don't take my word for it, we know these things go. And with the upper level winds coming in from the east for tomorrow, definitely going to be blowing those high cold cloud tops off towards the west. So more overcast skies than anything else. As stated for the morning, not seeing much in the way of moisture, but that doesn't mean it can't take place with the rainfall coming off of this, well, the low level flow with the clouds coming off of the sea from the southeast. So look out just in case we have a morning shower, but for the afternoon, that's where we have the consensus for rainfall. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 1 p.m. Jamaica time. Look at the consensus for some heavy rainfall across sections of Hanover, section of St. James, Trelawney. Look at the dark blues, the greens, the yellows, the oranges, even some pinks in there that represent some tremendous rainfall. We even see some of this spilling into sections of the east, so it's eastern, more so northern and western Jamaica for sure, getting this forecast. We see some of the blues into portions of northern St. Andrew, northeastern St. Catherine, western Portland and western St. Thomas. So the forecast is definitely going to be for some afternoon rainfall across sections of some eastern, northern and western parishes for sure. That's where we see the consensus for Monday afternoon. And even the accumulated precipitation for the next 24 hours from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus that it's going to be raining somewhere across Jamaica within the next 24 hours. The Euro model definitely even more robust than the GFS. Euro showing even some reds in there that represents all the way up to an inch of rainfall or more. GFS not so much up to the inch range, but we see the oranges all the way up to 0.5 or 0.59 of an inch of rainfall, especially across the northern and western ends of the island. And we can also see some colors right there across the southern and eastern portion of the island. So we'll see how that goes. That could be some rainfall for tonight into the early morning hours for the south coast or the east coast, while it's the afternoon for the northern and western sides. And we'll definitely take it. We're in the peak of our rainy season. We're almost there. We're at the end of September, heading into October, the wettest month of the year for most parishes in Jamaica. We definitely love the rainfall here in Jamaica. We like the cool temperatures for sure. But we're still in September. We usually receive up to 100 millimeters of rainfall. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall for the month of September in Kingston. And we usually receive up to almost 7 inches of rainfall. That's almost 175 millimeters of rainfall in Montego Bay. And keep in mind that if you'd like to find out about what your specific parish receives throughout the year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and you can use this little graphic right here to calculate the rainfall. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have an upper level trough of low pressure right in here for sure, spinning away. We have a lot of moisture pushing from southeast to northwest associated with the tropical wave. Definitely some rainfall expected tonight into Monday morning, especially for southern parishes in Jamaica. We can also see the clouds associated with the tropical wave definitely doing a number on portions of Central America as we speak. Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, section of Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala getting in on the mix. Even portions of northern Venezuela getting in on some of the action as well. And if we take a look at the northeastern Caribbean's Doppler radar image, we can definitely make out what's happening. We see some hit or miss isolated spots of greens with some slight yellows in there that we know represent some slightly moderate rainfall for sure in and around Puerto Rico and the US and British Virgin Islands. Some of this rainfall in and around the Leeward Islands to the east of Guadeloupe, right there to the east of Antigua and Barbuda. And if we take a look at these images from earlier today, we can definitely make out that portions of especially inland areas of central and western Puerto Rico got on some afternoon rainfall. Also had some rainfall across section of the Dominican Republic, as well as some rainfall around Antigua and Barbuda. If we take a look at the Barbados radar, we do see that we don't have much taking place. Just some isolated shores right there to the west and to the south of the island of Barbados, possibly affecting portions of St. Lucia as we speak. Some of this rainfall right there to the east of Grenada, some of this rainfall to the east of Tobago as well. Not seeing much happening in and around Trinidad, but definitely to the east of Tobago, some of this rainfall could make it in if it's not already dissipating. And if we take a look at the wide of Doppler radar images, we can definitely make out some of that rainfall that portion of the Yucatan had today, section of northern Guatemala, sections of Honduras, the waters to the east of Nicaragua, section of Colombia, northwestern Venezuela definitely gotten that heavy rainfall today as well. And if we take a look at where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, we can definitely make out that it's definitely going to be anywhere we see all of these, especially the reds that represent up to an inch of rainfall. While we know the greens are and all the way up to the oranges represent anywhere from 0.2 all the way up to 0.75 of an inch of rainfall. So mostly isolated shores in those colors. But we know rainfall is definitely expected. If we see both the year and the GFS models are showing that in the forecast within the next 24 hours, all the way up to 10 p.m. on Monday. And we definitely see that in store for portions of western Florida, sections of Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands getting on some of that. Even section of the Leeward Islands. So anywhere from St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, Antigua and Barbuda, Anguilla, section of Dominica and the Guadeloupe. We can also see that we don't have much rainfall expected for the Windward Islands. GFS a bit more robust than the Euro, but we don't see the consensus there. But we do see the consensus for sections of Trinidad and Tobago getting on some rainfall. So too sections of Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, section of Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, and the Yucatan Peninsula. We can see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.